make your own all-natural butter from heavy cream. In the first section, we went over how to do it the easy and modern way with the use of a stand-up mixer. And in this episode, we are going to show you how to do it the more traditional old-fashioned way in a mason jar and shaking. So you're going to need a whole lot of muscle. This is a great activity. If you've got some kids, you can pass the jar off to them and they love participating in it. For this, we use the same amount of heavy cream as we did in the first video. We just divided it into two separate mason jars. So you're just going to put a lid on it, and literally all you're going to do is you're just going to start shaking. And the whole process takes about 3 minutes, and it'll go through the same sequence that it did in the mixer. You can hear, you may not be able to hear it, but I can hear it. It's in a very liquid state, and then it will go from that into a more heavy state, which was the whipping cream state that it gets into. And then you'll start to hear just a thudding of the process, and that's when all the fat has separated out. And now we're getting to the point where we have a nice ball of butter that's forming. So once you start to hear that, and you'll feel it, you can feel the vibration on the sides of the jar. So we're going to continue shaking here. Okay, just when you think, I can't shake this anymore, and it doesn't sound like there's even any liquid in there, what you're going to start to see is it separating, and it's pulling away from the sides of the jar because that fat is starting to separate. So we're almost there. Stay with it and keep shaking. And we have butter. So we can take the lid off, and you can tell because you can see that it's separated, and you can see that nice, beautiful ball of butter that's in there. So most of the rest of the process is going to be the same as when we did it with the mixer. We're just going to take the lids off of these, and we are going to strain all the lovely buttermilk out of there. Just set that aside and strain this one. And you can, if you do a large batch and you're thinking, what in the world am I going to do with all that buttermilk? You can freeze it. Buttermilk freezes great, and then you can thaw it out when you want to make something with it. So we're just going to set that aside, and we will take care of that later. And we still have to wash this just like we washed the other butter. Pull it out of here. And now we're just going to form it into a nice round ball, and we're going to wash that just like we did with the other. And then we're going to take our cheesecloth, place it in there, give it a nice good wring out, get any excess liquid out. Same with the other one. You'll see, depending on how much you shook it, the longer you shake it, the more of the buttermilk it will separate out. So if you haven't shaken it maybe quite as long as you should, you'll just see some of that come out, just like that did when I started to shape it. And then we're just going to rinse it and put it in our cheesecloth. A nice gentle squeeze. And now we have 2 more amazing balls of butter. These are the balls of butter that we are going to use in the next lesson when we talk about compounding butter. So you want to make sure that you take a look at that lesson because we're going to make some yummy compounding butters. We'll see you in the next lesson.